he didn't need that money. Instead, he went over to cash in on MLS, where it has been absolute Messi mania. I think we're now only counting games that he doesn't score in. We'll get you guys' opinion on that in a second, but it seems like he's brought out all of the stars, every star, whether it's a Hollywood star or even teammates or former teammates. Everybody wants a piece of Leo Messi, including Giorgio Chiellini, but that actually didn't rub our very own Sebi Salazar the right way. Have a listen.
What was surprising to me was Giorgio Chiellini, and I only bring this up because it's come up quite a bit with MLS players being fanboys. I thought if anybody wouldn't go down the Messi fanboy route, it would be a grizzled veteran like Giorgio Chiellini. Instead, before even the Inter Miami players could get to Lionel Messi, Chiellini was not only out there, he was out there with, I don't know if his kids or somebody else's kids, getting a picture with Messi. Surely, Herc, with your ways of yelling at clouds like an old man out on your front porch, surely you have a problem with Chiellini, who didn't have a great game, fanboying like that over Messi.
I didn't see him fanboying. And by the way, when you called out we called out the fanboys as a channel, it was after being eliminated in a tournament. It was after losing
LAFC
a final.
got hammered at home. Chiellini got subbed off because they were so bad.
If you'd like to take a shot at Chiellini, go ahead. Is that what you're going to do? Are you going to take a shot at Giorgio Chiellini?
I was surprised. Yes, I was surprised that for all that we have talked about on this show and other shows about the fanboying in MLS, that within minutes of a frankly humiliating loss at home, that Chiellini of all people was doing that.
Well, listen, I didn't see Chiellini fanboying. I saw the exchange of jerseys. I didn't see him break out a Sharpie or anything like that. It wasn't a semifinal loss, and you're eliminated, and it wasn't a final loss. And you're posting proud pictures. So, I don't know.
Craig, I'm just going to let you comment on this one. Not much gets our Sebi Salazar riled up quite like
I'm going to have to stop you there because I'm going to have to. I'm serious now. I'm going to have to stop you there because this is just the way I like Hercules Gomez and Seb Salazar. I had absolutely no audio there whatsoever. So, I could, and I'm not a very good lip reader, and so that's that's perfect for me. I have no idea what they said. No idea.
You're over there in the States, so you get to see firsthand or experience or get a little taste of this Messi mania. And Sebi was basically saying how it wasn't a good look seeing Giorgio Chiellini, who's, a big name in football, kind of fanboying over Messi, asking for selfies, like with his kids as well. But Herc was saying, like, it's not that bad. It's not like it was, yes, LAFC got smashed by Inter Miami, but it's not like it was a semifinal. It wasn't a cup final. It was just another game. Do you have a problem with that?
Well, I don't know if I have a problem with it. I don't enjoy the fawning, particularly in full view of the public over a player. It reminds me a little bit of when we played at France, when we played in the World Cup, Scotland, that is France 98. We played in the opening game against the world champions Brazil. It was the opening ceremony, blah, blah, blah. It was a close game, believe it or not. We lost 2-1. And after the game, a few of our players who remain nameless were away chasing down to the Brazil dressing room, knocking on the door, trying to get to swap shirts and stuff. And I just wasn't comfortable with that because I'm like, we just played a game, we've lost. This is the World Cup. I just don't like the fawning. And so in some sense, this is the same. Behind the scenes, you get an autograph or a picture, whatever. But I at the end of the day, you're trying to beat the guy. So I'm not one for the shirt swapping during games, shirt swapping at halftime, and running off, knocking on the dressing room. And by the way, these players knocking on the Brazil dressing room were saying, pretty please, may I have your Brazil shirt? Brazilians didn't even pick their heads up. It was embarrassing. And I just don't like to see that. I think there's professionals, and that's the way you should keep it.
Did you not get a shirt?
No, I didn't get a shirt. I never got a shirt. I wasn't interested. Funny enough, Augie, none of the Brazilians were interested in mine. Don't worry about that.
He's got Ronaldo's shirt behind him. He's just there, Ronaldo 9. I can see it just there.
No, it's
not. There, Lars. Augie, let me quickly get before we go your thoughts on this whole Messi mania. I mean, I know we are an ocean away, but from what you've seen, I mean, he's doing what we expect Messi to do, which is just absolutely lights up any stage or any pitch that he graces. But does it also kind of make MLS or the standard or the quality of MLS look a bit worse than we thought?
Well, that's a harsh question. Really is. You really have to go with that. Look, I don't think it's Lionel Messi. I mean, he's arguably the best player the world's ever seen, or one of the top three. So, and he's still got it in him. He won a World Cup on his own pretty much last year. So he is going to go to MLS and play well. But the flip side is he didn't do so well in the Champions League with PSG because I think up against top players, he's probably not the player he was. So it doesn't reflect well in terms of the standard of MLS. But him being there reflects really well on MLS that he's there. That Messi's stealing headlines all the time. And I think if you had to make a decision on who made the best call, whether it was Messi or Ronaldo, I think Messi all day long. But I think Ronaldo doesn't seem to be having that much of a great time in Saudi Arabia. Well, they both went for the money. Let's not say that Messi didn't go to Saudi Arabia because he was doing it as a free hit to Miami. He's going to get well paid in Miami, so it was a money decision as well. But I think Messi took a lifestyle decision. I think he wanted to play in a different league. And I think, I don't really have a problem with the whole fanboy thing, as you said. It's a strange phrase, but I don't have a problem with that because this is Pele, Maradona level. And I think you talk to players who played in those eras, they are the icons of the game. And I think Messi's just a different level. I think, it's not like you're talking about a player that's achieved nothing. He is one of the absolute greats. So for me, Mr. Miserable, as you say, like this, I'm quite happy with this. I don't really mind too much.
I think just briefly, what you got to understand, that people got to understand, is, and Dan Thomas said it to me on the show. He said, "Oh, this is a bit of a surprise. He's doing so well." And I'm thinking, has he been on the moon for 10 years? I mean, the only thing that would stop Messi is Messi's desire and fitness and lifestyle. It's the only thing that would stop him, and then Mother Nature in terms of his age. It's nothing against Major League Soccer. Major League Soccer itself has built itself and prided itself on trying to bring in and enhance attacking players, right? It has always been slow. And if you look at the DPs and all the players that they've brought in from abroad, very rarely is it a defender. I know you mentioned Giorgio Chiellini there, but very rarely has it been top quality defenders. So there's a dearth of that in Major League Soccer. They focus on different areas. That's the way they see it. So when you have Lionel Messi come in, and you remember what a guy in Giovinco did at Toronto to some of these defenders. And that was quite a while ago. But this guy wasn't getting a game in Serie A. And he came in and he made it look quite easy. So when you see Lionel Messi come in and you add it to all the points that I've just talked about, then this was always going to happen. And quite frankly, Major League Soccer, I'm sure, are excited by this. And it's the way their model has gone, is that they've focused on other areas, more in the attacking area, and that's left the defensive aspect of the game just slightly behind. And so Messi comes in, and guess what? This is a guy that's done it to some of the best defenders in the world for over a decade, and now he's doing it to guys that are not quite as good. It is hardly a shock.
Alexis as well. I was saying the Premier League's rubbish because Erling Haaland scores a lot of goals. I mean, certain players are at such an elite level that they're going to score goals and do well wherever they play. So I think you just have to accept that Messi is at that level, and he's always going to do well. And I think it's great to see.
There is also, Augie, a lot of dross in the Premier League down that bottom end when you look at defenders. You've only got to look at that Everton back four. You and I could score against them.